waiting for this.
You are now listening to Digital Suplex Radio.
Back with another episode. It's me and Shane. We're here again, and it's just every time we get on this bitch, it's just some crazy news coming out. Mm-hmm. But I think this one took the cake so far, and the entire the entire history of Digital Suplex Radio. This might be the craziest headline that we've had to cover. So, as you guys know, Vince McMahon has retired.
He's done.
He's out of there.
He's gone.
Stick a fork in it. He done. You know what I mean? Shane, did you call it, or were you just kind of just going off a little bit? But did you call that he was gonna like retire or leave because of this situation that he's in?
I did. I called that he was not gonna be able to just get out of this one, like just because of where we are now with information. I was like, this is one he can't duck. I didn't know to what extent it was like what was gonna happen, but I just knew that he wasn't gonna be able to just like Vince McMahon his way out. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Like, but the retirement thing, yeah, there's that. He's gone.
So, because of this retirement thing, I was gonna say, do you think something crazy is about to come out in a couple weeks? Or why is it so abrupt? Like, why did this seemingly come out of nowhere? Why do you think?
I mean, there has to be something. I mean, like we
something
saw
crazy coming.
Yeah, there's got to be something crazy coming. There's got to be some more damning, stuff about what's going on. Like we've seen all of the hush money things going on. Like we already know the history, like because more of the history is like coming out. Things that we knew but just kind of collectively decided to forget are all coming back to light, and we're seeing more of that now. Now he did retire, but it being the WWE and him being Vince McMahon, there is a lot of speculation as to like what degree is he like actually gone. Like, because we officially we have his retirement, but there is a lot of talk because like I believe he's still a majority shareholder like in the company because it's a publicly traded company, which has a lot to do with like how the money that he was using to like for like hush money was being used because it was publicly traded money. Mm-hmm. So he can't just call that a personal expense. So there's a lot of talk, that's a lot of speculation, especially from more like kind of a little more like distrusting, kind of cynical people that kind of like, look a little deeper into things. Like maybe he's trying to still pull strings, from like, in the shadow realm, like the Triple H regime is more of a puppet regime and he's still going to be kind of calling the shots. So I think we're completely out of the woods yet. I think we have to still wait and see. But as far as we know officially, he gone.
Yeah,
he's no longer chairman, CEO.
Unbelievable.
Rated nothing. He's gone.
So I wanted to touch on a couple things. First of all, so obviously, elephant in the room. They had to air SmackDown, I think, later that night, and Stephanie came out. But did you think it was weird how she was just like, "My dad retired. Thank you, Vince. Thank you,
and
we're gonna have a
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Vince."
And then they were gonna be like, "Okay," and then that's it. So here's the rest of the show. So yeah, I just feel like it's weird how they kind of like just kind of smooth brushed over everything.
Yeah, and they got the "Thank you, Vince" chants. Oh, that shit was weird.
Yeah, very, because a bunch of WWE fans, they kind of casual or they're diehards. Either you're a casual wrestling fan or you're a diehard wrestling fan. Diehard WWE fan if you're in those crowds. So they always gonna support.
Yeah,
Vince.
like so, like and like to the point where like you don't really like pay attention to the things happening in the world, and so like when some real shit happens, you're just kind of like so out of the loop that you just like, yeah, thanks, Vince. Like with no like awareness.
Yeah.
Of, like what's happening, the scope of what's going on. Yeah.
So what do you think about the criticism that, certain people have, including like Gerald Briscoe, of course, they're talking about like, oh, well, you shouldn't be celebrating this guy retiring because he gave us so much. He gave us so much, like in terms of wrestling, which you said before, like wrestling existed before Vince and is going to exist after him. A lot of people, to play devil's avocado, everybody's like, well, the cool stuff like Stone Cold and The Rock, and Hell in a Cell matches, like none of that would be there. Or like Royal Rumble, for instance, would be there unless it was Vince McMahon was there. Because you can say like, oh, well, Pat Patterson had the idea for a Royal Rumble, but if it wasn't for Vince McMahon who hired Wooter Wooter Woot, then we wouldn't have Wooter, So what do you feel about that? Like,
here's the thing. Vince McMahon had no idea what to do with Stone Cold Steve Austin when he got there.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like he was the one pushing to be himself a little more. Like, here's my thing. I don't think Vince McMahon is a genius, nor has he ever been a genius. He's just had a lot of money. He's just been a guy with a lot of money that could just buy shit. And then like somehow that's like, oh, this genius, look what he's done with his business. It's like, motherfucker, when you have daddy's money and you can just buy up everything, I'm sure you would also consider yourself a genius too. Like, it's not his ideas for these like iconic wrestlers when they first got there were not very great. Rocky Maivia sucked.
Yeah.
The Ringmaster sucked. So also it's like that's purely circumstantial. Like, who gives a shit? I don't care who we came up with. Who cares?
Yeah.
You don't have to like give it to him, because he like, you don't have to hand it to Vince McMahon. Like, we don't say, look, man, I mean, that Hitler guy can't, like, he said, but wait a minute, but the Autobahn, man, like, he got the Autobahn, the highway system. Like, I mean, that was the precursor to what we understand as the highway system. It's kind of, it's nuanced. They're like, I don't give a fuck what he came up with. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know anyone's shit when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, cool.
There you go.
Like, it doesn't matter if like that was my first experience with wrestling, because that was purely circumstantial. Like, you don't have to give him anything, really. It could be like, I guess cool, but fuck you. Like, that doesn't like absolve you of anything. Like, I don't know.
Just like you said,
I just don't really accept the idea that like, but man, like you say that, but all those memories you have, you wouldn't be here without Vince McMahon. It's like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah,
just like you said, kind of like, I feel like people equate their nostalgia for Vince McMahon gave me that. But really what you remember is everybody in the ring, the storylines, whoop, whoop, whoop. But, that
was yours. Like, that was yours.
Yeah,
I wasn't Vince McMahon's.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't got to give him credit for that.
And the thing
what was going on during all of that, he was sexually harassing his female talent. He was fucking exploiting all of his fucking workers. He was being just a real piece of shit, like, capitalist boss. Like, I don't give a fuck. He's not a good dude.
Yeah.
Just because like he might have technically came up with a certain character. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
Yeah. He's not gonna cash out none of y'all. So I don't know. It's just weird to kind of like be like, because I feel like he's trying to get out while he still can, while nothing crazy's came out.
He would not have just retired like that if there wasn't some shit going on.
It would be pomp and circumstance. It would be Vince's greatest hits.
Yeah,
it would be a congratulatory episode.
Yeah, the things that he stayed like in power and like kind of scoffed at when it was happening, like, believe you me, like those are things that he should have like, has been retired for, like should have been ousted. But he was like, I'm Vince McMahon. The people are on my side. He tried that this time. It doesn't work in 2022.
Yeah.
And
people.
He was like, "Oh, it's at 77. It's time to retire."
Yeah.
And so like that's how you know shit's bad. That's how you.
And everybody knows that Vince McMahon was ever never going to plan to retire. Like, he would. This is why this is such crazy news, because Vince McMahon is such a workaholic. He has that old school like gotta work. And now you retire, and it's like, what does he do from here? You know what I mean? Like, does he read comics? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does he do from here? I think he might be still calling Stephanie like, hey, get that little dude off my TV. You know what I'm saying? You think he might still be pulling punches behind the scenes, but yeah, he's gone, man. He's gone. Like, he's gone, bro. Like, from the company, bro. Like, that's insane.
And like, good riddance. Like
he said, good riddance.
Bye. Like, I mean, you don't get to just spend 40 fucking years basically trying to destroy wrestling and rape and abuse and exploit everyone in your path, and then just get to have I don't fuck you. Like, I don't
Yeah. And at a certain point, he kind of just lost the plot of making it the greatest wrestling content on the planet, and he started turning it to like pure entertainment. Like, hey, let's see how many movie deals we can get crossover. Yeah. How's John Cena doing? How's The Rock doing? Check on his big five. Make sure they okay, still making the money. I'm glad to see him go as far as now. Let's see what WWE on a brand new landscape look like, or now there's different people pulling the strings. Let's see how they handle it. Let's see how Triple H, Stephanie, Nick Khan, Let's just see how they do. It's gonna be different because we've been seeing the same shit at least since I've been alive, bro. Since like fucking the 90s. You know what I mean? So let's see how different it gets. And I welcome change.
Yeah, and like I think Vince McMahon, like he got WWE to the point where it was almost like a sort of too big to fail type thing. Like it didn't fucking matter like about producing quality content because he was like still one of the top entertainment brands in the world. Like he just had so much wealth, money that didn't fucking matter. Like he could just do whatever he wanted to, and he would still be like a profitable brand. So like we'll see how it goes, but I don't know, like. I mean, like when Triple H moved NXT to 2 hours and like he got his ass beat, like when he had direct competition and like it was
I remember that.
It was some of the worst like NXT like content.
I remember that. Yeah.
Like
wait, what do you mean when they first moved over or like
like basically that no, like whenever like they first moved to 2 hours, like and it was still the Triple H black and golds.
You didn't like that? When it was 2 hours?
Was some of the worst NXT.
Wait, let me think. With like Karrion Kross and
Johnny Gargano. Like
you didn't like that?
Kross and like
I think NXT was strong until 2.0.
Really?
I feel like it lost steam.
I think it kind of fell off once they went 2 hours. Personally,
a little bit because you had Kyle O'Reilly leave, and is you talking about like the Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole storyline and stuff like that, and like
I mean honestly, like. I watched for a couple of weeks. The first few weeks they went.
Wow.
That was because it was the week before AEW premiere. That's when they went to 2 hours to like.
Okay.
I guess try to get them in first and then like come back. And I watched a little bit, but like man, that shit started getting pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Wasn't feeling it. Okay. Yeah. I understand.
I kind of stopped watching takeovers.
Takeovers used to be bangers every goddamn Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. That Saturday. Like I think like 2015 through like 2018 was just
you're right. You got it right on the
untouchable.
But yeah, but I guess now we could talk about a little fallout from Vince retiring. A lot of stuff happened. Like for example, Triple H is the head of creative, which is pretty exciting. I don't know. I'm hyped for that because we were just talking about NXT. Look, check this out. Those takeovers, and not even just the takeovers, but like the TV and like the storylines and the types of wrestlers he was bringing in, because he's also head of talent relations, which means he's basically a scout. You know what I mean? So if you got Triple H scouting right into creative, bringing back that sweet neo metal music for the commercial breaks, then I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table, bro. Because Triple H is, I feel like, one of us. He's like not a smark, but like he knows what the smarks like, but can still appease to like all fans. So, and a lot of good creations came from him.
Like the first thing that in the Triple H era was what Logan Paul and The Miz.
It's kind of a bad look. Kind of a bad. He's the Obama of like fucking WWE owners right now. He's like kind of cleaning up the
inherited.
Mess. Yeah, he inherited it, bro.
Like I'm not super optimistic because I've kind of given up on WWE.
Completely. You don't want to give it no chance.
Not really.
The heart in me, the 10-year-old in me wants to be like, come on, what are you, but
yeah, maybe too. But like, I don't know. Like with just it's like with just the insidiousness of that company, and like all the shit. It's like it's hard to like put that aside to like watch some like Monday Night Raw. Like I don't know. Like I mean, there's nothing perfect. Like you can't get away with doing anything that isn't like tainted by some sort of bullshit, but like I don't know, like I mean, because it's still like Stephanie and Triple H. It's not like Triple H is like a morally better person. Like he's still a fucking Trump Republican. Like he's still a fucking piece of shit. Like he's still a dumbass.
You know what? Yeah, Triple H. He left a sour taste in my mouth after that WrestleMania 19 and just who he associates. It's all about who you associate with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He still fuck with, like you said, Rich Foles. He still fuck with. I don't want to name on that because I was gonna say Ric Flair, but Ric Flair's on. He's on his. Oh, we didn't even cover his last match. I don't even gonna touch that.
No, that's just pathetic. It's honestly sad. It's sad.
Bless his heart, though. He's got a. But like your career ended 10 years ago.
But then like
he wanted to come back for that money. He can't let go. He can't let go.
Like, so he had the 2008 match. It was 2008 that WrestleMania, right? With Shawn
or something like that with Shawn Michaels.
Something like that.
Wait, no, I got it. March 30th, 2008. I got the poster right here.
Right on, right on. So like he did that match, he retired, but then like he was in TNA like
It was bleeding like a
right after
pig
that.
in all of his matches. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just sad, man. He can't let go.
He can't let go.
He can't do it, and that's just depressing to me because
He should have became the Snoop Dogg of professional wrestling. You know how like Snoop Dogg comes up, he pops up out of nowhere and just gets a paycheck. Ric Flair could have done that. You don't have to, because that's all he knew was just wrestling. That's how he made his money. That's where that has to be a euphoric feeling though.
Wrestling, because
exactly.
That is a lonely motherfucker. Ric Flair is a lonely, lonely man.
You say lonely? What do you mean by lonely?
He's clearly his identity is so wrapped up in the industry of professional wrestling that he doesn't know how to exist apart from it, because that's all he is.
Yeah.
And
oh damn! Do we disconnect again?
Like his come up, he was I think he was an orphan, or like he was like he had like adopted parents, and like, you know, from the time that he was young, he kind of was like just kind of alone, and like he went into wrestling, and then like that's kind of how he found a sense of personhood, and like he just got so addicted to it. And because like, I mean, like he was a horrible like husband and a horrible father like when he was in his career, and like he was just kind of a piece of shit to everyone.
Goodness gracious.
But he was great at wrestling.
Uh-huh.
And I think whenever he like retired, like he couldn't go back to whatever normal life was because he didn't have that. Like, and he's like, if you ever listen to him, like he's just a deeply lonely person, I think. Like he's just very sad.
That's a very deep assessment, bro. Yeah,
he's a very sad person. And like he uses wrestling and like binge drinking and just like alcoholism to kind of cope with that.
Man.
Yeah.
I heard he was racist. That's the only thing. That's the only mark I had on him. He was racist.
Yeah, he's racist. A lot of all those old guys were racist, pretty much.
That's what Teddy Long said that. I think Teddy Long, Tony Atlas said that.
Yeah, Ric Flair was very much a racist. Yeah.
Man. And it's just the era he grew up in and how he was on top. You don't see anybody else that don't look like Ric Flair on top back in the day like that. And you get that ingrained in your mind. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, I'm on the top of the totem pole. Look how I look. Look how I present myself. It's tough though. Because, and like you said, bro, like his whole identity is in wrestling, and he wasn't like no mid-carder. Like he was main event level almost his entire career. If you think about it, maybe like 2005, 2006 Raw, he was in the tag division with Batista, but like his whole
even
career,
then, like Evolution was, you know, like the top,
and they were the top stable
of the company. So like he was still associated with the top.
Yeah, he was always at the top, and then like, you know, you retire, and then you like, man, like what do I do now? Like you said, bro, like he might be lost without professional wrestling.
I think he is. Like I think he doesn't know how to exist. And like honestly, like they call this is the last match, but like with wrestling and especially with Ric Flair, just sort of like okay.
Exactly, and it loses its it loses its oomph because it's like, bro, this is your third last match, bro. You know what I mean?
That's wrestling though. Like how many retirements of people had in wrestling?
Like Terry Funk used to do that shit too.
Like these like big retirement tours, and you're just like, man, this shit's lasted 25 years. When are you gonna fucking retire? Like,
man, that's a long ass retirement.
That's a long ass retirement, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, anyways, yeah, fuck Ric Flair personally.
in short,
fuck Ric Flair.
Too long didn't read.
Yeah, I'm like, I have no qualms with like cutting ties off of like things that might have meant something to me earlier. Like I don't have that sort of connection to nostalgia where it's sort of like, well, I have to keep that. Like I owe that like something to that. It's like, I don't. Like I'm 28 now. Like that's the past. Like the past is the past. You can easily just move on. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to just like disassociate yourself with some bullshit, you know, even if it was your favorite thing. But
there you go. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are WWE fans now.
Yeah,
like,
and that's why I think that's why they get like really confused and like super like up in arms about things, because they take things really personally. And like that's, to me, that's not a really healthy way to deal with, you know, some of the bullshit. Like you kind of have to be able to learn how to have a healthier relationship with the past and
just let go. It's okay to let go. I mean,
it is okay to let go.
It's okay to let go.
You don't have to say, well, thank you for that. You don't have to say thank you to fucking anything, honestly. You really don't.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Especially with like Vince McMahon. Like, I'm not fucking thanking that motherfucker. Thank you for fucking leaving.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah.
You're gone. Thank you for that.
Man, but shit, we're gonna see how that. Nothing really changed, by the way, y'all. We're not gonna recap Raw or nothing, but nothing, not a big change.
And nothing's probably gonna change. Like, there are people that are just like if you look at it, like, I mean, because they're a publicly traded company, and it's like this could very well like be a PR move. Like, don't get too like, oh my god, wrestling's back. It's like, like.
Honestly, bro,
the fucking WWE. Like,
I'll keep it real with you. I'll keep it real with you. That was me. I was like, oh my god, yeah, that was me. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. And they talk about going TV 14. I don't think that's gonna change anything really either. I mean, they were already doing crazy shit, like the fucking Lana, Bobby Lashley, Rusev shit. That wasn't PG.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, those are all like, it doesn't matter because it's still like whatever they decide is like 14, like internally, like as a production team. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, I think like TV ratings that like aren't the same thing as like movie ratings, where there's like an actual governing body that defines like what term, like how things work within ratings. Like, TV isn't necessarily like that. So like they could have done whatever dumb shit they wanted to already, and like it's not like we've said last time, they're not just gonna show up one day and just be like fuck. It's whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, with everything, like I'm gonna be sort of like the WWE crank going forward on this show. So like, you're gonna have to keep me in the loop, because I'm emotionally checked out of that company entirely. Like,
I feel you, but
there's just like, they have just made too many deals with Satan at this point that like I can't, I don't think I could live with myself. But
I will be the WWE news correspondent for this show. Okay,
journalistically, you're gonna watch it. Journalistically.
Yeah, I do it
with what's happening.
Yeah, I don't do it because I want to. I do it because I have to. Nah,
it's labor, is what this is.
Yeah,
it's work.
Yeah, I don't get paid enough. Y'all are getting paid.
Yeah.
But anyway, so are you keeping up with I was gonna go into SummerSlam, but let's talk about another pay-per-view that happened. Let's talk about Death Before Dishonor, Ring of Honor.
Death Before Dishonor, yeah.
Yeah, so
did you watch all of it?
I watched the tag match, Briscoes and FTR, great match. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's break down this Jonathan Gresham thing, bro, real quick. Let's break this down. First of all, let's start off with this. I like Claudio as champion. That's dope. That's cool. He never was champion before. He's an
ROH OG, so like,
and he's an OG. Sense.
Yeah,
I like that. But it's weird how they did this. And I understand the tag match. You know what? Actually, I talked myself into it. The tag match is going last because it has the most hype going into the pay-per-view, right?
And that kind of goes into like the Gresham stuff too.
Yeah. So let's just keep that in mind. The world title match goes first. Now, if this happens, usually one or two things going on. It's like the NBA finals, and they really scared they're not going to get a lot of people watching, or like something major's happening in the world or something like that. Or, you just don't have that credible champion. Shout out to Jonathan Gresham. I think he's a very unique wrestler. I love his moveset. I love his physique is awesome. Like he's swole, he's presentable. I love the octopus mask. That was dope. That was also missing from the entrance.
And like his whole jacket thing.
The whole joint. Yeah, look like
he just came out with a t-shirt and his belt.
Yeah, so everybody thought, oh shit, what's going on? What's happening? It's like Shasta Banks at WrestleMania, whatever, a couple years ago. Like, she came out, she wasn't smiling. So everybody thought something was off, and then he lost in 10 minutes. He lost the world heavyweight champion. He was the only person on this planet who gave a shit about the Ring of Honor World Championship for the past like 3 months while COVID wiped him out.
He was defending that thing everywhere.
Yeah, and he was like, I want to be the real one, because Bandito, he came down with COVID. He's like, I'm the real one. So apparently they just went with Claudio, which I think, like I said, is a good pick. It's hard. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it just sucks that like it's always gonna be tied to like another like shitty thing, because I think what happened to Gresham is pretty shitty, but like, and unfortunately I feel like it might take away from Claudio. I hope it doesn't, because Claudio legitimately is like, I mean, he's a Ring of Honor like legend, a staple of that company. So like, it makes sense that he'd be world champion. Like, he's a Ring of Honor OG.
Right. And and it came out that Jonathan Gresham was so upset he actually cussed out Tony Khan, fragile ass, backstage, got in his ass and stuff like that, which I can see. He was upset, and I think plans were told to Gresham, I feel like too late. And I would be pissed too if I have so much pride in this company. I'm trying to represent them as their world champion. I get pushed to the front, lose it that quick. And then, he didn't come out with the ring gear. He wasn't feeling it.
Mhm.
Nothing like he went through the motions, I feel like. Great wrestler. Like I don't talk.
He really just kind of like just did the job. You could tell with that one. He just did the job.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as the show goes, I'll try to never criticize anybody wrestling, but I could tell like he probably wasn't feeling it that night, and it sucks what happened to him. So a lot of people getting on this. We haven't talked about body shaming on this show, but I do want to get off like, bro, what's wrong with folks, man? What's wrong with folks, man?
Isn't it like because he's short? Like they're just
he's short. Yeah, he's talking shit because he's short. Okay, he's short. He's short. I feel like you can still get that over. Like same thing with Taz, Rey Mysterio, all those guys. Like I don't know. Like
Taz is also
long as hell.
Neck, you know what I mean? Like
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He has absolutely no neck. Yeah, get on him because of that. Like he got some Goomba action going. Like bless his heart. Get on him because of that. But the fact he's short, like I can't believe him because he's short. Bro, Taz ECW World Champion. Shit, Kurt Angle 5'10".
Yeah, here's the thing too about the idea of like I can't believe it. Wrestling is not a logical sport at all.
Yeah.
None of the things you do in wrestling would be any things that you would do like in a fight.
Right.
Like you couldn't just like power bomb someone without some resistance.
Right.
Like the things that you do in wrestling are already like very fantastical. So I mean, like at that point, it's kind of free reign. So like that's kind of how I am with people who get really like insecure about like people shitting on wrestling that's not realistic. It's like it's not realistic already.
Mm-hmm.
Like those aren't moves that you use in fights. Like those are moves that you use to make like really choreographed, like interesting, like looking kind of like stunt work and kind of like an action movie. Like that kind of choreography, that flow. And
there you go.
Because if it was a real fight, it would look like shit. You would just see two dudes just trying to kill each other and like.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing visually appealing unless you like because MMA is more skill. You're talking about MMA. They don't have no. I feel like WWE and wrestling in general is just like it's the art form of like they're going from here. Going from here. Oh shit! And you going along for the ride. MMA is like, is he gonna beat his ass? Yep, he beat his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like okay, that lasted 2 minutes, and that's fine. I've got no problem.
It's two different things, though. Yeah, exactly. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, and even then, like in MMA, like there are still like rules and stuff you kind of like have to abide by. So like it does make the fighting a little more like you have to kind of be selective about what you can and can't do. If I understand MMA correctly and cage fighting correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah. Anyways, yeah. People were getting on him for being short, and that was kind of stupid. Yeah,
man. So get out Jonathan Gresham's ass for that. But I do understand his frustration. But I think he might be done with wrestling for a while. And it's a lot of trend between us brothers in wrestling. We get the short end of the stick a lot. No pun intended. Oops. No, I'm playing. We get the short end of the stick a lot because you got guys like Leo Rush, you got Jonathan Gresham, ACH. You know what I mean? And I can keep on going down the list. And it sucks because we're always looked at as like crybabies when you really dig deep into why we're frustrated about a certain thing. And it's like, I feel like we do get mistreated sometimes, or they get mistreated sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's like they say, like, especially black wrestlers, they got to work twice as hard for half as much. That's kind of like how people understand, like, especially in America, like being black and being a person of color, but especially black, there's a real uniqueness there.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Trust me, my dad gave me this speech.
There really is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, because I think he also Gresham like talked about how there was a lot of double standards for black wrestlers in terms of like white wrestlers, their entire character can be good wrestler, but with a black wrestler, if they don't see like a character, they're like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Because like, there's no character there. And it's like, you don't say that about like a Daniel Bryan, and I'm not in like, or an Adam Cole even, but I guess Adam Cole is kind of a character, but like, just those wrestlers whose thing is like Josh Alexander, for example, he's a good example of that. Like of just your character is great wrestler.
Like Chris Benoit, another example.
Chris Benoit was just great wrestler.
He's just a great wrestler. And
with black wrestlers, it's sort of like, oh, there has to be, you got to be smiling. You have to dance. You have to, You got to do something.
Yeah.
You got to do something for us to you know, you got to entertain us like, you know, in some other way.
Just in case y'all think we tripping, for example, Shelton Benjamin. Ain't nobody fucking with him until they brought his fake ass mom in. And then that's when he started becoming the gold standard. And that's when he got the Money in the Bank matches, et cetera, et cetera. Cedric Alexander, Apollo Crews, you know, it's just, it is what it is.
They weren't allowed to just be great wrestlers. They had to be like, even when ACH went to NXT, they renamed him Jordan Miles. What was his thing? Oh, you're going to smile.
Yeah,
your thing is going to be smiling, and they made that racist ass T-shirt. And then
I remember that shit. That shit was funny, and people thought he was tripping. I was like, "Look, man, look
even
at
if
the shirt."
Even if that wasn't the intent, there's still context. Like, you have to understand that. Even if it wasn't made going, "Hey, it's because, you know, blackface is funny that we're doing." Even if that wasn't it, like, there's still a history. Intent doesn't matter. Intent doesn't matter there. Like, there are consequences, and you have to be called out for that and understand that.
Exactly, man. Sure. You can't. How you accidentally make a blackface shirt, bro? That is unbelievable, bro. Yeah. Graphics team, hey, hire me, man. I make
because that was the whole thing with those NXT shirts. Like, they were just like
names.
In like 10 minutes, just all these horrible like designs for the NXT people. Because like, I remember like Swerve's first T-shirt was bad. It looked like a fucking like it looked like a band logo from like one of those butt rock bands from the early 2000s. Crossfade, like it looked like one of those. I'm like, ew. Like, it was so gross looking. But anyways,
about to save my $20.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, no, I think because I've never been a huge Gresham fan. I just, you know, I've watched him his matches. He just didn't do it for me. But like, I'm so like, you kind of, if you're not on like understanding him and like on his side a little bit there, then I mean, like, you gotta like really, I think you gotta really evaluate some things, because that's been a constant like criticism of Tony Khan. And I think especially with black performers, because I think like people have talked to, because I read this on Twitter a little bit, but like even like football players, like black football players, have also had some of the same issues with Tony Khan.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
I wish I was in the NFL. I'm an NBA guy.
I haven't heard the details on it, but like I've heard like it's the common thing like across all the sports that he's involved in, like all the organizations he's involved in. I mean, because it happened with Swole too. I mean, like, she was like, hey, can we get some, like, you know, can we communicate here? And like, there's that thing, like, because he's so busy on his favorites, and like there's and just bringing all these new people, and you know, and you have your ROH world champion, a company that you just bought, who was supposed to be the top of that company, and you're relegating him to, you know, defending it just like on a YouTube show, or like, you know, just put him on Battle of the Belts once and not really featuring him. And like, apparently there was like no communication for like 6 months.
I heard about that.
Like, they weren't like really, because he's just like has a horrible way of, I guess, of just doesn't, if you're not one of his people that he's pushing all the way, then good luck, you know, getting a word in with him. And that's been a common criticism. And I think that he needs to get called out for that a little bit more than he does.
Yeah.
Everyone's like excited because it's like, you know, all these people, wrestling's back, and like they ignore like he still has to own up to his shit, especially when like he's like especially with the way that Big Swole went out. You know,
oh like, man, yeah, that was fucking crazy.
She called and he was like, well, I'm brown, and the other guy that does it, or the other person that is brown, and I didn't like Swole's wrestling. It's like, that's why you fucking did it, huh? Really? Really, Tony? I didn't think her wrestling was good. Swole's a great wrestler. What you talking about?
Man, I just think, I don't know. And Tony has a history of being childish as fuck.
Yeah, he just seems very immature and a lot.
Very immature dude, bro. Like, but I mean, if you got all that money, bro, and you working in your field that you've always wanted to do, you're gonna feel some kind of way too, you know. But like, man, come on, man, you got, you know, let's get a little more. I want Tony Khan to be a little bit more professional, bro. Coming from a dude in his room, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I can see that you kind of just being I don't know, just something about him just very childish to me, man. Yeah, I feel like he cool, but like childish, very childish.
Yeah, like a cool guy to hang out with, maybe, but like he'd probably get pretty grating for me, honestly, after like an hour if I was around him for too long. But
would you shut the fuck up? But, you know, just in the car with him and shit. Like, bro, what the fuck?
But like I think a common issue that people have had is like the the dynamic in the back can be so hectic because it's just like a free for all, and you have people getting lost in the shuffle that want some kind of clear, instruction, guidance, and like clear plans for them instead of just kind of waiting it out. Like, because I think Hikaru Shida kind of talked about it too, about like when the Joshis were going over there, like they were kind of in a lot of ways because they're not, a lot of them don't speak they don't speak a lot of English, and they're kind of just floating around, and they can be kind of like left to wander. And I think Tony Khan needs to really take that seriously about like communicating with his workers. If he wants to bring all those motherfuckers in, all these people,
yeah,
you better like have a plan to like fucking talk to them, like give them the fucking time of day, especially if they're a champion, like ROH champion, like don't, like that just shows like how much that your priorities there. And like
I think the strategy is just to scoop people up just so they don't go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Scoop them up so they won't go anywhere else. We could do something with them, and then we'll get the big pop. Oh, it's signed to AEW. Boom, it's signed to AEW.
And that was the WWE strategy for a long time too. It was just
for NXT, for sure.
Put them in the performance center and keep them in their warehouse.
Yeah, what was that about? With the match, with their
uniforms,
that
would never like be. They would just sign for like 3 years, and they would just be living in Orlando doing nothing.
Yeah,
and like they would pack up their families and they would go to these places, and like they would just they get dropped
and then get fired for them.
These wrestling promoters, look, all these wrestling promoters are the same. They're all a bunch of a lot of greedy carnies that are just all about they're they don't trust them. They're greedy motherfuckers. They ain't your friends. They're those promoters, man. They're con men.
Whoa.
Hey, con man.
There you go. Hey.
As what's his fucking face says, Dan Lambert, which is like the only funny thing Dan Lambert has ever come up with is Tony Khan man.
Yeah, he got fucking lame. But anyways, we got about 6 minutes left. About 6 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to rapid fire off the top of your dome? Anything else that happened?
I think all the big shit is the Vince stuff.
No, that's a big shit. A big
shit, and that's like we could beat that horse in the ground all day.
Yeah.
Fight for the Fallens tonight. As we're recording.
It is as we're recording. We're finally recording in the after. I got off work early, so I was like, "Let's go."
We're recording on a Dynamite night. We'll see how so if you're watching, basically, whenever you do watch this, it'll already have happened, and it's some good matches.
Yeah.
Brian Danielson.
I still do it, bro. I understand.
Brian Danielson is returning. He's fighting Daniel Garcia. It's going to be a great match.
Oh, Daniel Garcia? That's a good one. That's a good matchup.
Baby. Speaking of which, because I didn't watch all of the ROH pay-per-view, I really only paid attention to Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia's match because
that match was insane.
That match was fucking awesome.
And a great crowd to go along with it too.
Flat battle at the end towards there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. They some stiff dudes, man. They can fight. That's why I like. That's why I like too. Random little point I want to make is if you are on the smaller side, not to say those dudes are small, because I mean shit, you stand next to them, they probably beat your ass. But if you got somebody on the small side, have them work real stiff for something like Wheeler Yuta does. That's how you use them. So
yeah,
they're both being used well. Daniel Garcia is dope. He's a dope character. He's just like he looks like a dude.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, and like because he's like he's this kid from Buffalo, and like he's like a lot of because I think like he went to school with like like a predominantly like black school, like he has a lot of black friends and stuff. So like he's like really into hip hop. He's like really into like a lot of the slang and stuff like that, and a lot of the humor. And so like he can be just a goofy dude too, also. So like he's also got like that a little bit that charisma there too. So like he can really. Because I guess his promos are very funny. I think he's a really funny dude.
Yeah, man, he could talk, he could wrestle, and he has that. He's bringing back. He's making submission style shoot wrestling cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I mean, for a young dude too. Yeah. Like who else is doing that young and like making it cool? Submission shoot style wrestling. That's pretty sick, man. So
yeah. So shout out to that match. I didn't really watch anything else. I had a thing to do, but
it was a good show. It was cool.
Some people were talking like, man, it's just like the old NXT takeover days. It's like a company, but like it has the underground feel. I'm like, let's,
honestly, I can see that. I can see that though.
I
can see this as like a takeover type kind of feel to it because that's Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal. Mm-hmm. Boy, that mode was clean. That was a good match too.
Yeah, because I mean, like if you have your AEW, your big shows, and then you can have your ROH just sort of like the second brand, I guess, like NXT became,
Yeah, or ECW, dun dun dun. You know what I mean? What was that about?
Yeah. So yeah, but I heard it was pretty good. I heard it was a good pay-per-view.
Pretty good. I give it a 3.5 thumbs up
3.5.
out of 5.
Pretty good, not amazing, but pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Like, honestly, bro, 4 out of 5 for the FTR match. The FTR
Oh.
match bumped up a whole half star for me, bro. Like, they know how to wrestle. They fun to watch. The Briscoes are so fun to watch. But yeah, man, real good shit. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I would recommend to check it out if you can. So that's all I had, though.
Yeah. So 5 of Fallen tonight. Moxley and Roosh for the AEW interim. Thunder Rosa and Miyu Mashida for the AEW women's. I'm really excited for that one.
She's coming over here now.
It's gonna be a great match. I'm really excited. What else they got on there? Swerve is in a handicap match with Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He is a little goofy, but we'll see. We'll see how they do it.
Have you seen Swerve's pet pig on Instagram? He has a pet pig.
Did not see the pig yet.
Big old motherfucker. He's so cute.
Did not see the Swerve pig. Man, I gotta check him out. I gotta check out the pig now.
Yeah, he's got a pig.
Okay, man.
Yeah, you gotta check out the pig.
Now I gotta check out the pig.
Yeah, it should be. I guess it should be a good night.
Yeah. So Tony Khan, I expect y'all another check since we plugged y'all for free. I'm still waiting on my last check from promoting Jericho's ugly ass jersey. If y'all haven't seen it already, go to our channel and it's me reviewing Jericho's jersey. That's $100 goddamn dollars. By the way, I did not like that barbed wire match. Just to throw it out there. I didn't like it. Bless Eddie Kingston heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, we're gonna see what they do tonight. It's been another crazy episode. Wild and crazy episode. Nah, it's been a wild and crazy episode. Vince is gone, y'all.
Vince is gone. Rejoice.
He gone. Yes. We meet at the courtyard at noon.
We'll see if they continue their blood deal with Saudi Arabia.
I wonder how they're gonna do that too. I don't know. Maybe Vince might be over there already. I know he's gonna have a flight back. God damn it! What the fuck was that? But anyway, it's been another episode. We got about a minute left, but it's been me, Darian. There goes Shane over there.
Peace.
We'll see y'all next time.
You are now listening to Digital Suplex Radio.